Politics that makes sense now, and in this case, that's New York politics, which is a label, let's be honest, we hardly ever get to give it. But election day for the New York City mayoral race now less than 3 months away, and Mayor Bill de Blasio has a commanding lead in the polls. Not a huge surprise. He's the incumbent. New York overwhelmingly Democratic. New numbers from New York One and Baruch College show de Blasio at 43%. Nicole Malliotakis is the only other candidate in double digits. Former Democratic City Councilman Sal Albanese is struggling to gain traction, and nearly a third of voters remain undecided. Now, Dominic recently sat down with both Albanese and Malliotakis, and he gained some insight into the Republican with a little game of word association.
Okay, Assemblywoman Malliotakis, it is now time for word association. And the reason why we do this is it gives the voter a portrait to a degree of your personality. I'm going to throw out some names, and I want to know the first one or two words that come to your mind. Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Mismanagement.
That's it?
Well, there's a lot of words.
Is there a second word?
Lack of leadership, an I don't care mayor, mismanagement.
President Donald Trump.
President Trump, stay off Twitter.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Someone reasonable that I could work with.
The Reverend Al Sharpton.
I don't know, he's just, I don't know. I don't have a word for him.
Police Commissioner O'Neill.
I think he's well-intentioned and limited by the person who is directing him.
Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer.
He's a good politician. And he's very good to the Greek community also, they love him.
Good politician sounds like a loaded word.
He's a good politician. He's someone who is out there, he's visible, he's vocal. He's been a good partner with me after Hurricane Sandy. His office has been helpful in helping my constituents together.
Former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani.
He was someone who was tough on crime, a law and order mayor.
The Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions.
I give him credit for recusing himself, and I think that was the right move.
Former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci.
I don't understand what happened. He left after 11 days.
Is there one word to describe him?
Well, I think it was reported in the paper.
No.
Okay. And finally, Assemblywoman Malliotakis, but perhaps one of the biggest issues, Yankees or Mets?
Well, I'll tell you this much. Unlike this current mayor, who is a Boston Red Sox fan, I am a Yankee fan. We need another Yankee fan at Gracie Mansion, but this is more important. I will always vote for the New York team before I vote for Boston or any other cities.
Okay, so let's talk about Malliotakis a little bit, and to keep with the theme, let's do it in word association format, where I'll say one word. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
We don't need to save on our words here this time. She's got a bit of a Trump problem, doesn't she? I mean, she commented about his Twitter, but she got the question this weekend in the wake of Charlottesville, and she kind of punted on it.
Yes, and if you're the Republican soon-to-be official nominee in overwhelmingly Democratic New York, you have a tremendous Trump problem. You said the last time, I believe you did, Vincent, that you were on, that de Blasio is running against Trump. Right. So there's no doubt about that. So they're going to tar her with Donald Trump. The backstory is interesting. She wasn't initially a Trump supporter. She voted for him in the general election. She supported Senator Marco Rubio. She's half Greek and also Latino, and of course Rubio. So she wasn't even a Trump supporter, but you better believe she's going to be hit with Trump, Trump, Trump.
She's not going to be the only Republican in the next year and a half who's going to have a Trump problem to deal with, and we've talked about that a little bit, but is there anything she can do to successfully show, other than just disowning Trump and potentially alienating parts of her own base? How does she walk that line? How did she, especially in a 6-1 Democratic city?
It's virtually impossible. I mean, in 2013, Bill de Blasio called Joe Lhota a Tea Party Republican. He was anything but any Republican in that year. It was very hard to get outside of the Tea Party moniker. It's even more difficult with Trump, especially after this last weekend, without sitting on $20–30 million, special interest spending, which is just not there in the city because everyone expects Bill de Blasio to win again. It's virtually impossible.
So why not just jump off on Trump? Why not just turn your back to him, denounce him, or say that he's not good for New York, and here's why, and I can't defend? I mean, you would close the door on that a little bit. It might cost you some votes on the Republican side, but There aren't
It
that
might.
many.
I mean,
there aren't that many Republican votes to be had in New York
it
City.
it may not be such a bad strategy. I mean, depending on what she wants to do next, if she wants to run for governor, if she wants to again run for something citywide. I mean, Rudy Giuliani did this in his first race. He came very, very close, but he lost to Mayor Dinkins. But he built up a name recognition for the next time around. She may want to do something like that. But you run the risk in 3 years if President Trump all of a sudden becomes very, very popular.
Did you get the sense from talking to her that she's in it to win it? I mean, every
Yes.
politician says that.
Yes, I'm glad you asked that question. Yes, the answer is affirmative. Yes. You can tell when you meet them if their heart is
Right.
not in it. She's very active on social media. She's an up-and-coming person. She would be the first woman. Can you believe in 2017 we have never had a woman, no matter our political background,
Yeah.
we have never had a woman mayor of New York City. There's a reason why she praised Schumer. There's a reason why she praised Cuomo. And it's because she's got a party label problem. So she's in this for real. And just one last thing I want to say. If you look at the last filings, and this is why I say this is not a walk in the park, de Blasio raised less money. The mayor raised less money than she did and Sal Albanese.
Okay.
You do the math.
Let's do it. We could use a little palate cleanser, couldn't we? After some of the heavy topics that we've dealt with in the show. Okay. This one came from the bizarre category. I'm going to read you George Pataki's tweet, and hopefully it will speak for itself. I quote, "Kid Rock is exactly the kind of candidate the GOP needs right now." The rock star from Detroit says he's considering a run against Michigan Democratic Senator Stabenow. It sounds like the former New York governor and presidential candidate is now in his corner. You ran his presidential campaign, or first of all, you're going to be running Kid Rock's Senate campaign?
You mean the future Senator Ritchie?
What?
If he asks,
He's got to keep
absolutely,
the
I
name.
would.
It's got to be Senator Rock. I mean, if he goes
I
back
don't
to
know
his
how that would
original
look on
name,
a ballot,
he's
but-
clearly a fraud and a fake at that point. That's caught a lot of people off guard. George Pataki seems like a fairly sober, centrist, comparatively centrist Republican in 2017.
Yeah, I
Endorsing
agree.
Kid Rock?
I don't think there's anything bizarre about it. The governor is a very smart politician. He knows what it takes to win in a blue state. He did it 3 times. And if you look
He's
at
exactly the kind of candidate the GOP needs right now?
someone who's young, someone who's a good businessman, someone who donates a lot to good causes, I think the GOP could use something like that right now. Someone like that right now. You want to throw it to Dominic?
It's a very delicately placed answer. Dominic?
Vincent. We can do this. I'm going to run for mayor. And given that response you just gave, you are my campaign manager. Because based on that response, you can overcome any baggage that I may
means a
have.
lot.
Because I like that, man. That was good. Kid Rock has about as much chance of becoming a senator, state senator, mayor.
He's sitting on a pile of money.
This is true. Okay. So why don't Jay-Z and Beyonce run for
Well, he's
president?
gonna run for president.
They might.
Oh,
People
yeah.
talking about Mark Zuckerberg running for president.
Listen, there's only
But
one
there's
Donald
also-
Trump.
But there's also
and we see
serious-
how that's working out.
There's also
one
a
Donald
serious
Trump.
point I could also make.
Oh, there's something serious
15
about
seconds
this?
before show.
Okay.
The personality candidate trumps everything. I mean, you could look at.
Was everything. Was.
By the
I
way,
wasn't going to say Trump. I was going to say Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And we're out of time. Vincent, Dominic, thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. Up next, our Hudson Valley headlines.